Let's fucking go.
Action movie fans have a lot to look forward to in 2025 and 2026, with numerous thrilling films on the horizon. The excitement around these movies is palpable as they promise intense fight scenes, epic adventures, and high-stakes moments that make the action genre so captivating. So without wasting any time, let's dive into the best upcoming action movies of 2025 and 2026. The Accountant 2, April 25th, 2025. The Accountant 2 is an action thriller coming in 2025, directed by Gavin O'Connor and written by Bill Dubuque. It's the follow-up to The Accountant, with Ben Affleck, John Bernthal, Cynthia Addai-Robinson, and J.K. Simmons all returning. Daniela Pineda joins the cast this time around. In this sequel, Treasury Agent Mary Beth Medina contacts Christian Wolf when someone close to her is killed by mysterious assassins. With the help of his dangerous brother Brax, Chris uses his genius and unconventional methods to solve the murder. But as they get closer to the truth, they attract some of the deadliest killers who will stop at nothing to end their search. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, May 23, 2025. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is one of the first big action films of 2025, and it might just claim the title of the year's biggest action hit. The Mission Impossible series has always drawn massive crowds with its stellar ensemble cast and Tom Cruise's insane, death-defying stunts. The previous movie, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, was one of the most expensive films ever made. Though it barely broke even, it got overshadowed by the surprise success of the Barbenheimer phenomenon in 2023. With an earlier release date for The Final Reckoning, the hope is that it can avoid similar competition and finally be the smash hit that studios were expecting from the previous film. That is, until the odd choice to leave Part 2 out of the sequel's title confuses potential moviegoers. Karate Kid Legends, May 30th, 2025. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about the new Karate Kid reboot, especially after Cobra Kai gave us that nostalgic energy, but Karate Kid Legends has definitely got me interested. The movie brings back Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan, who team up to train a new kid, Li Fong, a kung fu prodigy who needs help finding his karate skills. The action looks solid, with promising martial arts moments like a wall flip and kick, and the tone feels focused and gripping. While the story might be predictable and Jackie Chan can end up being Mr. Miyagi's younger brother, I'm excited to feel that Karate Kid magic again, especially since these legends are still looking fresh despite the years. Sony has my attention on this one. Ballerina, June 6, 2025. Kicking off the 2025 summer blockbuster season with a bang, Ballerina might just surprise everyone with a huge box office showing. Officially titled From the World of John Wick: Ballerina, this film dives deeper into the John Wick universe after Keanu Reeves' character, the legendary hitman, seemingly retired in John Wick Chapter 4. This time, the focus shifts to Ana de Armas' Eve Macaro, a ballerina-turned-assassin seeking vengeance for her father's murder, all while tangled up with the Ruska Roma. Ballerina will be a pivotal moment for the John Wick franchise. While Keanu Reeves will return in a supporting role, handing the lead to a new character could either make or break the franchise. But considering how each John Wick film has only grown in box office success, it's likely that Ballerina will follow the same upward trajectory, delivering yet another action-packed hit. How to Train Your Dragon, June 13th, 2025. The live-action How to Train Your Dragon just dazzled at CinemaCon, where early viewers saw the full film and showered it with glittering praise. People were applauding mid-screening, calling Mason Thames a perfect hiccup, praising the mind-blowing visuals, and even shedding tears during emotional moments. The score, cinematography, and performances, especially from Nico Parker as Astrid and Gerard Butler returning as Stoic, stood out, with many calling it the greatest live-action adaptation ever, capturing the original's magic while soaring even higher. That said, some are cautious, remembering how The Flash was hyped at CinemaCon 2 only to flop later. So while the buzz is strong, fans, like me, are trying to keep expectations in check. This is still my most anticipated movie of the year. Jurassic World Rebirth, July 2nd, 2025. Jurassic World Rebirth is coming in hot during the middle of the summer blockbuster season and might just kick off a whole new era for the iconic dinosaur franchise. Ever since Jurassic Park became a beloved classic under Steven Spielberg's direction, the series has kept its success rolling into the present. Even though the rebooted films have had mixed reviews, Jurassic World Dominion still made a huge splash at the box office, ranking as the third highest grossing movie of 2022. The new film will introduce fresh characters, moving away from familiar faces like Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, and legacy stars like Jeff Goldblum, Laura Dern, and Sam Neill. Instead, we'll see big names like Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali lead a story about a potential cure for a deadly illness hidden within the DNA of the last surviving dinosaurs. With the franchise's proven success and a new lineup of talent, Jurassic World Rebirth has the potential to dominate the summer and leave other releases in the dust. Superman, July 11, 2025. After the DCEU ended with a quiet whimper following Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom in 2023, DC fans have spent the last year eagerly waiting for the first true film in the DCU reboot. Directed by James Gunn, the DCU's creative head and renowned comic book filmmaker, Superman in 2025 is set to reintroduce both the iconic Man of Steel and the concept of a cohesive DC movie universe. The buzz surrounding the film is already huge. Superman has always been a star in the movie world, with the original 1978 Superman film crossing the $1 billion mark when adjusted for inflation. With a hopeful and optimistic tone promised in the marketing, this fresh take on the character is a stark contrast to Zack Snyder's darker portrayal. This could pull in a broader audience beyond typical comic book movie fans, plus the chance to finally see the DCU fully realized in a major live-action film is an exciting prospect for many. Fantastic Four First Steps, July 25, 2025. Superman won't be the only superhero movie bringing a nostalgic, more earnest vibe to comic book filmmaking. Joining the July release frenzy is Fantastic Four First Steps, Marvel's long-awaited take on the iconic superhero family after regaining the movie rights from Fox. The film is said to be a retro-futuristic period piece, capturing the 50s and 60s pulp science fiction aesthetic that defines the Fantastic Four in the comics. With a star-studded cast, including Joseph Quinn, Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, and Ebon Moss-Bachrach, this film is shaping up to be a major draw. The Fantastic Four franchise has struggled with previous movie adaptations, so fans are hopeful that the MCU will finally do the team justice. The Fantastic Four First Steps official trailer just dropped, and honestly, it's worth it because the Fantastic Four are back and I am here for it. Alright, rapid-fire thoughts. Storm's pregnant. Didn't see that coming. I'm curious to see how that story plays out. Johnny's playfully mocking Reed, which is so on brand for him. We get a few more looks at the Thing, and I'm still loving the design and the character's vibe. And honestly, the production design looks gorgeous. This movie's gonna be stunning to watch on the big screen. Now let's get to the good stuff. Julia Garner as Silver Surfer. She's nailing it. She looks exactly how I imagined, and her surfing on oxygen? Pretty cool. They've definitely got the surfer right. But the big thing? Reed's first look stretching. It's weird, but in a good way. It looks majestic, but also kind of funky. I love that his body actually thins out when he stretches, unlike other versions where his body just gets longer. This looks way more realistic and has a nice tension to it. Lastly, I want to talk about how famous and beloved the Fantastic Four are in this universe. It's kind of refreshing because usually, in superhero stories, the public's skeptical at first, but here, they're already adored. Will the dynamic shift? What if they face off against someone huge like Galactus and the whole world turns on them? That'd be an interesting twist. Nobody 2, August 15th, 2025. CinemaCon has officially kicked off in Las Vegas, and one of the big reveals was the first teaser poster for Nobody 2, the much-anticipated sequel to the action-packed thriller starring Bob Odenkirk. The poster features a clenched, bloody fist, bracelet charms, and a Hawaiian shirt, hinting that Hutch Manziel is back for more. Alongside Odenkirk, the sequel will bring back Connie Nielsen as Hutch's wife Becca and Christopher Lloyd as his father, a retired FBI agent. Sharon Stone joins the cast as the main villain, and Colin Hanks plays a corrupt sheriff with shady ambitions. Director Timo Giganto shared in a previous interview that Bob Odenkirk is incredibly dedicated, putting himself through intense training for the role. He also praised Christopher Lloyd, saying he brings a surprising level of energy and humor to the set, even at 85. According to Giganto, Lloyd hasn't lost a step and still brings that same spark fans remember from his earlier roles. Mortal Kombat 2, October 24, 2025. Philip Sledge is all in on Mortal Kombat 2, and for good reason, especially after those first-look pics dropped. The sequel to the 2021 film looks like it's finally going to do justice to one of the franchise's most iconic and mishandled characters, Shao Kahn. Back in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, fans were hyped for a proper big bad showdown. Instead, we got a version of Shao Kahn that felt more like a Halloween costume villain than the brutal Outworld Emperor we've been fearing since the early 90s. But with Mortal Kombat 2, things are looking way more promising. Martin Ford's terrifying take on Kahn, with that signature mask, glowing red eyes, and a menacing vibe, has hardcore MK fans like Philip fired up. And it's not just about the look. This time, it sounds like the filmmakers are taking a less is more approach, leaning into Kahn's mystique and raw power. That's exactly what he needs to come across as the dominating, controller-breaking villain he is in the games. If they give him that iconic hammer, have him throw down some brutal ultimatums, and maybe even toss in a reference to his epic MK2 arena, it could finally be the redemption arc this character deserves. Predator Badlands, November 7, 2025. The Predator franchise has always done well at the box office, even if Prey didn't quite capitalize on its potential as a straight-to-streaming release. But with the success of Alien Romulus in 2024, the Predator series has a solid shot at a big box office win in 2025. That could come with Predator Badlands, a unique twist in the series set in a post-apocalyptic future. Prey was underrated and impressed critics, showing that the Predator formula could work in different genres and settings. With Badlands, the post-apocalyptic setting could be the wild card the franchise needs to reignite interest among action movie fans. Plus, with the growing success of R-rated films, it could open up even more opportunities for the Predator series to make a comeback in a big way. The Smashing Machine, October 3, 2025. Dwayne Johnson is stepping into the octagon for real in The Smashing Machine, an A24 biopic directed by Benny Safdie, set to hit theaters in October 2025. Johnson plays legendary MMA fighter Mark Kerr, diving deep into the raw and brutal world of early UFC as Kerr battles not just in the ring, but with personal demons and complicated relationships. Emily Blunt joins him as Dawn Staples, Kerr's girlfriend, who struggles to navigate life beside such a tumultuous figure. Safdie, who also wrote and produced the film, teams up with Johnson's 7 Bucks Productions to bring this intense character study to life. The release drops into a stacked weekend alongside Channing Tatum's Roofman and Oz Perkins' horror flick The Keeper, making it an auteur showdown at the box office. Kerr's story, already explored in a 2003 HBO doc, is packed with triumphs and pain, from NCAA wrestling champ to UFC and Pride legend. Now it's getting the full cinematic treatment, and with Johnson and Blunt on board, the Smashing Machine is ready to hit hard this fall. Avatar: Fire and Ash, December 19, 2025. Few franchises can match the sheer power of James Cameron's Avatar films. The original Avatar shattered box office records despite having no prior IP recognition, proving Cameron's mastery of blockbuster filmmaking. To this day, Avatar and Avatar: The Way of Water hold the top 2 spots for the highest-grossing movies of all time, and Avatar: Fire and Ash could very well add to that success. The upcoming film is set to introduce new fire and air-themed Na'vi tribes, expanding Cameron's already fascinating sci-fi universe. This time, Cameron has the chance to strike while the iron is hot, releasing just 3 years after The Way of Water compared to the long wait between the first 2 films. This could mean that Avatar: Fire and Ash will rake in even more incredible numbers while the franchise is still fresh in the minds of audiences. Aang the Last Airbender, January 20th, 2026. The Avatar The Last Airbender crew is back with a brand new animated movie featuring fan favorites like Toph, Sokka, Katara, and Zuko. This time, Eric Nam voices the adult Aang, and Marvel star Dave Bautista is also joining the ride as the Avatar universe continues to grow. Even after nearly 20 years, the love for this franchise is still going strong. And yep, this movie kicks off a whole new trilogy. Street Fighter, March 20th, 2026. The new Street Fighter movie is shaping up to be a fresh spin on the legendary fighting game series. After the misfires of the 1994 film and The Legend of Chun-Li in 2009, Legendary and Capcom are hoping to finally get it right. The first movie may have done well at the box office, but fans weren't thrilled with how far it strayed from the source material. Well, that's it for today. Which one are you most excited about? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe because we'll be covering more updates on this soon and other exciting upcoming movies and series. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.